Good afternoon, EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick. How is everybody doing this afternoon? We are right around 2:20 in the PM in Dalton, Georgia, USA. And EagleNick hopes that you are all having a very blessed day. Now, EagleNick has a new setup here I'm trying out to see how it works. Now, I've never did a live stream at this time of the day, so I don't know if there'll be anybody out here anyway. So we're just going to give it a try. And if it don't work, EagleNick's not going to cry. You know, you never learn if you don't try something new. Hello, how are you doing? EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick. And I just heard a big thunderclap right outside. It's getting ready to come a major storm here in Dalton, Georgia. But I can't get in there to where I'm usually looking out my window because the Chef Ben's laying down taking a nap. And EagleNick Audits gets loud when he talks, and I don't want to wake him up. Now, I'm going to see if I can move this around just a little bit to give you a better view of the EagleNick Audits army shorts that I wear. I would like to thank every single person who watches my shorts, my videos, and my live streams. Good afternoon, Mr. Good Time. How are you doing? EagleNick Audits is doing just fine. And I hope that you are as well. I had a good lunch up there at Providence Ministries. They had some good chicken soup with rice and a turkey and cheese sandwich that had some white cheese on it this time, which is a little different than what they normally have, but it sure was good. Now, EagleNick stopped at a store. It's right in between the Brahmins Plaza. You might have seen me do some videos from right there in front of it on the sidewalk. I had to change a couple of garbage cans for my friend that runs the store because, you know, he has a hurt leg, and them garbage cans get so full of beer bottles and people throwing away a half-empty bottle of Coca-Cola or a bottle of water or anything. You know, they don't pour it out first. They put it in the bag, and that bag gets so heavy that I always try to make sure I keep them changed for the gentleman because I don't want him to hurt himself any worse than he already is trying to carry those bags. You know, to pull them up, you got to lift them way up to get them out of the garbage can when they get so full. And he's nowhere near as tall as old EagleNick Audits is. And, you know, like I said, he's already got a hurt leg that's permanently injured. He walks with a limp. And, you know, that's just how I am. You know, I believe in helping somebody out who needs help. You know, I've never asked him for anything for doing it, but he has gave me a cold drink. And he gives me a extra big garbage bag, you know, so I can use it to put my cans in when I get all them little bags full. I have to get a big bag somewhere. I usually get it out of a different dumpster and dump all the trash out in the dumpster. and then I turn the bag inside out, let it get dry, and then I turn it back the right way, and I fill it up with cans. But every now and then he'll give me, I'll ask him. If I ask him, I know he'll give me one at any time. But, you know, I try not to ask because I can, like I said, I can get them at the garbage myself. And it doesn't hurt anything when I dump the garbage out of the bag into the dumpster, because that's what a dumpster is for. Well, I try to do unto others as I would have them do unto me. I thank you for that, for you saying that about me, Graceland. Graceland Farms. Graceland in Tennessee. Is that where you're located? Now, EagleNick loved old Elvis Presley. Now, I hope y'all can bear with me for just a second, because I need to run outside and put my friend Chef Ben's bicycle in the basement, because I just heard some more thunder, and we're fixing to get a big major thunderstorm. So you're in Georgia also. So am I. I'm in Dalton, Georgia, 30720. But I need to run outside to put Chef Ben's bicycle up, because the bottom is fixing to drop out of it at any time. And I try to make sure that, Rocky Face, Georgia. I've been out there many, many times. I love that Mr. Biscuit. You know what I mean? I love Jack and I love Pauline. They are super cool people. Got some of the best food around. And I go out anytime I can when I'm on that side of town. But I'll be right back. If y'all can just hang on tight, let everybody know that EagleNick will be right back. Because I need to put Chef Ben's bicycle up, because he's in there taking a nap. And I hope EagleNick don't wake him up, because I run my mouth so loud sometimes, because my left ear is stopped up right now. I can't hear out of it worth of crap anyway, but it gets stopped up and I can't hear it all. But I try to keep his bike protected so that it don't get rained on, that rust his chain up. But I will be right back shortly. Just bear with me, please. I'll be right back. Just bear with me, please. Don't kick me in the head like a dog with fleas. It's raining right now. I gotta grab my keys. I about went outside without the keys.
No, sorry.
I'll put you back in the basement because it's raining. I'm doing a live stream in here. So. All right, EagleNick is back. Now that rain is starting to come down out here. It took me a little longer than I thought it would because I had to move this basket. I had a basket of cats. I had like 4 of them little kittens that crawled in a basket. So I had to bring them up here under the awning of the porch so they wouldn't get soaking wet. Looked like they was going to lay there like there's a bunch of little turkeys. And I try my best to take care of them the best that I can. No, he actually got woke up by the clapping of the thunder. The EagleNick talks loud, but that thunder's just a little bit louder. Now he's in there talking. Just bear with me again, just for a minute. Turn off that kitchen light if you're done. All right, I'm back one more time. So how's everybody doing this afternoon? Now this is the first time I've been on this early in the afternoon. I usually come on about between 7 and 9 and a.m. and 7 and 9 p.m. I was telling Alan Davis, one of my moderators, that, I don't have a set schedule of when I'm going to actually do a live stream because, I don't want to let them know where I'm going to be or what I'm doing. Because with EagleNick audits, they're always screwing. You know what I mean? They always trying to cause old EagleNick trouble. You think you got it bad? Well, I got it double. I don't really got to do nothing to make them get mad. But that's just the way that EagleNick's had it. You know what I mean, Vern? That's good, Graceland. I'm glad that you're doing great. It has been an awesome day. It has not really been as hot as normal most of the day. And then that sun, it broke out bright a little after noon. But I knew that the rain would be coming soon because they'd been saying, that we're going to be having some severe thunderstorms. Now, I usually try to do my live stream looking out the window, out the eagle's nest, so everybody can see that rain come pouring down. I know everybody sees the rain when it rains, but it might rain different here than it does where you're at. Sometimes it rains sideways. I like the view a lot better from looking outside because, you get to see all them cars going by. I might have to turn on the air for just a second because it's getting hot. I just can't handle all that heat. I sweat like crazy from my head to my feet. You know what I mean? Now I've got air conditioning, but my ceiling fan, it just don't move the air too good. Now that last live stream I did this morning, it only took it about 4 or 5 hours to process and upload. I've had some live streams that take 12, 14 hours and still not process and upload, and I'd get mad and I'd just delete them. But I finally figured out that you may have to leave it on there 2 or 3 days, but if I leave it alone, it'll probably stays. I've lost a lot of hours and so many views. I can't help it. I just get impatient. Not I'm an inpatient, I'm not in a mental institution. There's a lot of people that thinks EagleNick should be in a mental institution. They say all kind of bad things about me, but hey, that's just how I am. Like Popeye said, I am what I am. You know what I mean? Now, on my earlier live stream, we had a Bobby Bishop in there that was just giving EagleNick the once over. He was kicking me in the butt like my name was Rover. Kept telling me, oh, you're going to be convicted. You're going to be convicted. When I go for my trial on my misdemeanor criminal trespass, damage of $500 or less, all for exercising my constitutional rights at the United States Post Office in downtown Dalton, Georgia, where I did nothing but simply record videos. A recording is a record that shows exactly what happens and what is going on. That's why them arresting me was just so wrong. Hello, Miss Jessica. How are you doing? I'm so glad to see you again. Yes, the lunch was delicious. Now, I wouldn't have been able to eat it if it had been atrocious, but it was really good. It really was. I liked it a lot. After I'd left lunch, I stopped by the store and I changed a couple of garbage bags for my friend that runs the store because he has a hurt leg. He walks with a limp. And them doggone garbage cans is so tall, they're over half as tall as he is, and they get so full and get so heavy that when you try to lift them up, you have to lift them up nearly as tall as I am, and it's just real hard for him to do it. I'm afraid he's going to hurt himself, and I dang sure don't want his wife to have to try to do it, so I always try to make sure I keep them changed for him. Just trying to do what the good Lord said to do unto others. So how are you doing today, Miss Jessica? How about anybody else? Anybody else going to come in and say hello? I see 40 people showing, but there's only 2 actually saying anything. Graceland and Jessica. Well, I try to help people out because, there's some people, they cannot do stuff on their own. I mean, he would do it. I'm sure he would. But he could hurt himself trying to do it. Like I said, he's already got one hurt leg, and I'd hate for him to hurt his other one. Because, if he was to hurt himself real bad, he wouldn't even be able to go to work. I've got at least nearly 2 foot on him in my height. So, I can lift it up a lot higher. I have to lift it up about as high up as he is tall. So if he tries to lift it up that high, he might fall. And I wouldn't want anybody to get hurt. You know what I mean? I really cannot read that new name. I don't know what it is, but it's going good. How about you? I really appreciate that you came in and that you're actually chatting. Let me look, see if I can get where I can see it. Now, if I shine a doggone flashlight on it, I can't read it at all. It's an awfully long username. It looks like it says guilty at the end. I know EagleNick is not guilty. How about you? Yeah, that was up there at the Hag Mill Lake Park, right out in Rocky Face, where Graceland said they are at. It was. Now they some catfish in there could eat that for a snack. I was up there one time and there was a guy showed me a picture on his phone where he had caught about a 60-pound mud cat, and I know there's some blue cats in there that's bigger than that. Now, I've been wanting to go out there and do some fishing myself and, try to record it. But every time I start to go, it always ends up raining. Like they say, there's nothing changes like the weather. And the weather, it changes real quick around here. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was a flathead catfish too there. Now over here, just right over the road where I live at, there's some flatheads in Dennard Lake that's over 100 pounds. So they would be nearly 10 times as big as that one that fella caught. But the only thing about it is you can only catch them on a bait like he was using, a live bait, because there's so many bait fish that they just won't bite anything else you throw out there, even if it's chicken liver or that old stink bait you can buy. I'm still trying to cool off a little bit. That's why I'm a little bit quieter than I normally am. I hope everybody can bear with me for a minute. I might should have waited just a little bit later. Maybe if we get lucky, we'll see a hater or two come in to talk to EagleNick audits the way they always do. EagleNick audits. I am EagleNick. And when I talk, it makes him sick. Some likes to hear my voice and some don't. Some will hang around for a while and then there's some that won't. You know what I mean? I just am who I am and that's all I can be. This is EagleNick Audits. Yep, that's me. Because Graceland, they have treated EagleNick Audits with nothing but disrespect. They have violated my constitutional rights. If you will look on my videos on my YouTube channel, look at my shorts and my videos, you will see exactly what I mean. Everything I do it for the United States Constitution and the red, white, and the blue. I do it for EagleNick Audits, and I do it for you. I stand up for our rights before they take them all away, because our government is doing it a little bit more each and every single day. Now, I know there is many good police officers out there, but I've only run into just a very few. Hello, Brett. How are you doing? No, sir, Danny. I do not love the devil. I love the Creator who created all things. For we are all created in the image of our Maker. Now, you may not know it, but you call him the devil, but his name is actually Lucifer, which means light bringer. And Lucifer was actually the most beautiful angel that God created, and it was because of his pride of how beautiful he was that he didn't want to be equal to God. He wanted to set his throne above God. Yes, sir, Brett. We got a big one rolling in right now. That's what I was saying before you come in. I had to run outside and put Chef Ben's bicycle in the basement. He just leaves it sitting outside, and I don't like it to get soaking wet because it's going to end up running his chain. I've tried to tell him, if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. It's not what you say, it's what you do. You know, if your chain gets rusty, it just don't ride right. You know, you have to work a lot harder to get the pedals to go around. It stops you revolutions, and it just causes it to be a lot harder. And when you pedal too much, you just get tartar. I know that's not a word, but hey, that's just EagleNick. When I was coming home, I had stopped right out in the middle of the road where two roads meet because there was a nail laying in the road. Now, I really don't got to worry about a nail getting in my bicycle tire, but it is a real high traffic area coming out off of the subdivision next to where I live. And there was a lady that had turned. She just barely did miss it. And I've said it a million times. I would rather pick up 100 nails with my hand than for anybody to have to pick up one in their tire. You know, because if you pick up one with your hand, that's good. You can throw it away. But if it sticks in your tire, it's almost there to stay. You'll have to go out and pay somebody. No, rust is not a good thing. If you get a nail stuck in your tire, that's when you got to go out and find somebody for hire. And it costs quite a few dollars unlocked in the past. But hey, you know what they say, good things don't last. We got that Bidenomics and that Bidenflation that's just ruining this here nation. Danny, do you love the devil? Who do you love? Hello, Ad, how are you doing? Yes, I did. Hey, it tripped me out right before I ended my live stream this morning. I was saying, you know how I always say, EagleNick out. I am EagleNick, and I was just about to say, and I'm out. And Mr. Brett there, he sent me a $20 super thanks, and I about fell up. Excuse me, I about fell down. That's good there, brother. Where you working at? You working hard or hardly working? Now, a lot of people may not realize it, and they say what I do ain't work. But I wish they'd give it a try sometimes. It ain't just as simple as grabbing a phone and it's on like Donkey Kong. Hey, that is awesome. That is awesome, Ad. I never know when EagleNick audits might need an EMT and might need them bad. Oh, you drive a concrete mixer. I thought you said you was an EMT. I thought that was an emergency medical technician. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Brett that says he drives a concrete mixer. I'm sorry. I should have noticed that his B is red and yours is blue. I'm sorry. I see that now. You'll have to bear with me there, brother. I don't know. I guess I'm colorblind on top of being a hillbilly. Hot diggity dog. Jessica, that was my mistake, darling. It wasn't them. Hey, that's cool. I've got a friend who has a concrete company. It's called Edwards concrete. Now, he pours and forms concrete, and he's also into building houses right now. He's one of the best around I know that pours concrete and forms concrete. Now, I go over sometimes with him. Do I like green eggs and ham? No, I don't think I like Dr. Seuss. I like Dr. Seuss, but I do not like green eggs and ham. Don't ask me why. That's just how I am. If I eat them, I think real quick I'd run to the toilet because they'd make me sick. You know what I mean? I'd rather have some grits and bacon and toast, and I ain't faking. I'm more of a southern man. I like that southern food because I can't help it. I'm just a country dude. Hello there, hearty har har. I'm glad you have a hearty laugh. That's okay, Brad. You can call me Brad. See, I said Brad, dadgummit. You can call me Knock. Nickety, 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 knock. I'm wearing my Crocs without a sock. Oh, you're kidding, Miss Jessica. Where you live, darling? You live under a rock? Yeah, icy hots are all right, but I'd rather it be icy or hot. I don't like it to be both. It's already hot enough. I'd rather have the icy. Well, I've not seen very many of those nice officers, Graceman. Now, I have seen a few Officer Cruz, Corporal Shope or Shope. I think it's Shope, S-H-O-P-E. Now, the higher-ups, the lieutenants, they're the worst of the bunch. And if they could get away with it, they'd love to give EagleNick a punch. And I'm not talking about fruit. You know what I mean? Oh, no, not microwave grits. You want the real thing. No, GMD Park. We're talking about something different. I hate to tell you, but if that ticket's going to be a winner, it don't matter what you had for dinner. Because when you scratch it off, it ain't going to change. Because you can't say nothing to make it rearrange. It's going to be the same. It's getting a little bit cooler in here now. I'm starting to feel a lot better anyhow. Oh, EagleNick, he had to light him up a cigarette. I did it pretty quick. Kids, don't try this at home. There shouldn't be no kids in here anyway. This is a public service announcement. If you do not smoke, do not start. These daggum things will tear your world apart. You'll think of them night and day. And once you get on them, you can't get away. You know what I mean? That is how often you'll want to smoke one. It's 24/7. I wish that I hadn't never started smoking because they're really so hard to quit, and I'm not joking. Hey, I've met plenty of people that was heartless. Let's see. No, grits are not neither. Grits are made of corn. Mashed potatoes and hash browns are made of potatoes. But grits are made of corn. Yeah, now they say vaping is really worse for you than smoking. Because, vaping, yeah, that's what I was going to say, vaping, when you vape, them vapes can have certain types of metal in them, like nickel. And you get metals in your lungs, buddy, you're done. Now, if you just smoking a cigarette like this, if you quit after so long, it'll get out of your lungs. But if you get metal in there, it's in there to stay. Metal can destroy your lungs real quick. So is it raining where any of y'all are? Because it's fixing to come a big old storm here. Oh, man, Brett, Cowboy Killers. That can only be the one and only Marlboro. Am I right? Them Marlboros, they a strong cigarette, too. It's a doggone good thing that you're not smoking Marlboros anymore. Because them doggone Marlboros, they're probably about $8 a pack right now. Yeah, Miss Jessica, what you want to do is you find you a restaurant that cooks true Southern cooking and get you some grits and bacon and some toast. And I guarantee you, EagleNick says that you'll like it. Now, I've never seen Crowns, Miss Jessica. Where you at? We've got 24/7 and Teton and we used to have cigarettes that came from Korea. I can't even remember what they were called now, but they sold them in the USA for a long time. But then the doggone, hey, that Cracker Barrel's good, but I don't like going there. There's too many well-to-dos go in there. And I don't like going nowhere where anybody looks at you like they think they're better than you are, because EagleNick audits. If somebody's looking at me like they think they're better than me, I'll tell them what I think and tell them what I see. Billy Burns, how are you doing? So glad to see you. I may not be the man, but I am a man, and that is for sure. And every time I pray, I always say, Amen. But I sure do appreciate you saying that. Now, I don't know if I told anybody or not, but if you look on my YouTube channel, I've changed my description and actually put my Cash App in my description so that if anybody was to want to help EagleNick with his legal defense, because that public rear ender, you know, most people call them public defenders, and that's what the state calls them. But the public defender does not seem to really want to help EagleNick, because my misdemeanor criminal trespass damage of $500 or less has a maximum penalty of 12 months and or $1,000 fine. Hey, it's Coda. How you doing? So glad to see you. Now, like I was saying, the maximum penalty is 12 months and or $1,000 fine. Now, see, they wanted to give EagleNick audits, a plea deal. Now, they wanted to give EagleNick audits. Y'all sit down if you're standing up, because you might fall on your butts when you hear this stuff. They wanted to give EagleNick audits, 12 months, 10 days to serve with the rest suspended, $1,000 fine, 150 hours of community service, probation, and banishment from the United States Post Office in downtown Dalton. Now, they wanted to go so far above and beyond the maximum penalty allowed by law as part of a plea deal. You know what I mean? You know, they wanted me to plead guilty to something that I did not do. And EagleNick audits will not do that, because what I say is true. I did not commit a single crime. I was exercising my constitutional rights every single time. I was standing up for the Constitution and the red, white, and blue. I was standing up for the rights our Creator gave to me and to you. Now, I will not accept any kind of plea deal. I will not plead guilty even if they try to kill EagleNick, because I am not guilty. I did not commit any crime. Yes, that's exactly right, Jessica. That's what I was trying to tell Graceland. Graceland was saying that Dalton has many fine officers, and I'm sure that may be true. But when it comes to EagleNick audits, I've only ran into a few. All the rest of them wasn't worth a crap. And if they could get away with it, EagleNick would get a slap. They done slapped the handcuffs on me, and they violated my rights. All because I was standing up for the United States Constitution. All because I would not bow down to their authority. Some people call it authority, but I call it authority. Because when they say it, they want to spit in your eye. See, I'll tell you something else about old EagleNick. I talk real loud and I talk real quick. Now, I talk a lot, and what usually happens if I'm smoking a cigarette like I am now, you know, I've been smoking the same one, but that's because it's done went out. I got about half of it smoked, and I talk so much that it just goes out even though I'm holding it. I do not understand that myself, Brett. It's because they do not have a such thing as just criminal trespass. There's no such thing as just criminal trespass. See, the thing about it is, you can Google criminal trespassing in Georgia, and you will see a person commits the offense of criminal trespass when they knowingly stay on the property of another, and that is private property. That's why I've said time and time again, you can only be trespassed from public property if you have committed a crime. You know, on private property, it does not matter if they have it posted. If they do not have no trespassing or posted private property on the property, all they have to do is say, get off my property, you're trespassing. That's when verbal trespassing is legal, when you're on private property. Now, if they tell you, oh, you're trespassing, you've been trespassed, like they told me at the United States Post Office when I had not committed a crime, well, that is not legal. Trespassing from public property would have to be a written trespass with your name written down. Now, I shot that down when Lieutenant Bishop kept saying, you're trespassed, and I stated, is there not supposed to be paperwork associated with that? I said, there's usually paperwork. Now, he said there would be a police report, and he was going to ask me if I had an ID so that they could write down, to put my name on a trespass, not just a police report, because I hadn't committed a crime. It would have just been an incident report. But because I would not identify myself, whatever type of report they actually submitted, which would have been an incident report, they was not able to put my name on said report because they did not know it. When he said that, I told him I do not answer questions and I do not identify. Now, because I said I didn't identify, that in other words, that I wasn't going to say who I was, before I'd said that, he said that I was disrupting. In other words, I was stopping business from being conducted, like people couldn't get up there to buy stamps or to mail letters or to mail packages. And I stated that, no, sir, I have it all on camera. I was off to the side. At no time was I disrupting anybody. Now, when I said that I was not going to identify myself, he changed his tune and he changed his tone. And right away, EagleNick audience knew that it was on, because the first words out of his mouth after what EagleNick said was, I had been making threats because I was threatening. Now, EagleNick audience is not illiterate, and I am not stupid. If I had been making threats, he would have reason and a legal right to arrest EagleNick, not trespass EagleNick from the post office. He would have had the legal authority to arrest me, because making threats is a crime. You know what I mean? There's a big difference than disrupting, causing a disturbance. I'm not stupid. But the thing about it is, hey, it's Coda, they do have to file a trespass. But the thing about it is, you cannot be trespassed from public property just because you are exercising your constitutional rights. Let me explain something to you. First Amendment protected activity means that you cannot be arrested and you cannot be fined while you are exercising your First Amendment rights unless you are committing a crime. Now, exercising your rights is not criminal. But what is criminal about somebody exercising their constitutional rights is when those rights are violated by the police or any law enforcement officer or any public servant. Now, everybody wants to tell EagleNick that the post office is a private business, but I know that to be 1,000% false. All anybody has to do is Google it, and you will see that the United States Postal Service is a branch of the federal government. It is not one of the four main branches of government, which is executive, congressional, judicial, and military, but it is an offshoot branch of the federal government. Just like a tree has many branches, so does the federal government. The FBI is a branch off of the federal government. The Department of Homeland Security is a branch of the federal government. The National Transportation Safety Administration is a branch of the federal government. Now, they control what goes on around airports. That is exactly right. They did not have poster 7 at all, not just not in plain view. They did not have poster 7 posted. Now, that was on February the 9th. Now, when I went back on Valentine's Day, 5 days later, February the 14th, they had posted poster 7 in 4 different locations on both doors that come into the post office, the north entrance and the south entrance, both in the front. On the inside door that goes into the lobby where they actually work, where you go in to buy stamps from them or mail packages through them, and back there in a display case where they are required by law to display all legal notices. Now, there is a Department of Homeland Security memo that gives them the clear objective that they have to, not they may want to, but they have to have poster 7 posted in every single federal building, not just the post offices. That would also apply for federal courthouses. Anywhere a federal office is that the public has access to. Now, like I said, the post office, the public can go inside 24 hours a day. Even when the lobby is closed where they work at, you can still go inside and utilize the self-service area where you can buy your own stamps, you can mail your own packages, you can access your post office box. You know, you do not have to have them to open up your post office box. A post office box is personal. They put your mail in your post office box from the back side of the post office. Now, that is an area that Poster 7 says that you would have to have permission from the postmaster or the installation head to record or take photographs in. And also back behind the counter in the lobby where they work and the parking lot where they park all the mail vehicles, because the public does not have access to those areas because they are restricted. But any area that the public has access to that is publicly accessible, you may take photographs and record 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What's up there, Michael? How you doing, brother? I was just sitting here explaining how Poster 7 works. You know, there's a lot of people that wants to say they read off what Poster 7 says, that taking photographs and recording is allowed. There's the keywords, is allowed, in entrances, foyers, corridors, lobbies, and auditoriums that are used for public meetings. And that is the end of that sentence. But they go on to say the next sentence throws the first sentence out the window the same way somebody would, they throw the baby out with the bathwater, because the next sentence says that taking photographs and recording in restricted areas, like back there where they're working, like back there where they're sorting the mail, back in the back parking lot where they park the mail vehicles, that you have to have permission from the postmaster or the installation head. Because see, like the branch of the East Side Post Office in Dalton, Georgia, the postmaster is not actually there. There is only one postmaster in our area, and she is downtown. Now, you would have to have permission from the installation head at the East Side Post Office to film in any area that is not accessible by the public. But you know, the public parking area where people park their cars, inside the lobby, anywhere like that, you do not have to have permission. EagleNick, this. I am EagleNick, and I'm so glad to see everyone in here. ADP, how are you doing? Brother, I beg to differ with you. You are stating false statements. Google it. There is 4 branches of the federal government, but there is many offshoots of the federal government. Now, you are stating something that you don't know nothing about. There is Congress. There is the executive branch. There is the judicial branch, and there is the military. Well, actually, the military is controlled by the president because he is the head of the executive branch. Northwood Press, how are you doing? So glad to see you here today. Hello, Jimmy. How are you? Everybody, please make sure to check out Northwoods Press. Now, Northwoods has an excellent YouTube channel. Like I've said so many times before, EagleNick, it subscribes to only the best. And Northwoods Press is one of those channels on YouTube. Now, here lately, EagleNick Audits has lost his heart to the NH Mountain Girl on YouTube, and I'd ask that everyone check out NH Mountain Girl's YouTube channel too. And Mad Labs Press, True North Transparency, Calgary Community Watch, California Citizens Watch, and Eastern Arkansas Transparency. And of course, I could never forget Canada Cop Watch, or the one that really makes me laugh. When I need a laugh, I always go watch Flex Your Freedoms. Because Grandma is hornist. Grandma knows how to handle business. And old Billy Buttcrack at BCNN, Buttcrack News Network, now they only handle the real news, not the fake news like CNN. So y'all make sure y'all head on down to my subscriptions down under in between my videos and my live streams, and you will see some of the best YouTube channels that you have ever seen. Now, there's a bunch of them you may already be subscribed to, but I can guarantee you, if you would check them out, EagleNick Audit says you will give a shout. You will hit that subscribe and like all the time, because all of them channels are really, really fine. You know what I mean? Burned. Now, I'm sorry, y'all. I had to light it back up. I smoked half of it. I'm running out of nicotine. You know, ever since I've got internet, I've probably got 200 or 300 or more DVDs, and I never watch DVDs anymore. So someday soon, I'm going to set up down on 41 Highway, South Dixie Highway, it's also called, right there at Kelly's Restaurant. And I might see if I can't sell all these daggum DVDs for about $1 a piece. That way, EagleNick Audits, I have 200 or 300 bucks to stick back for when I have to go to court. Because I need to try to do something to put all the money I can aside for my legal defense, or old EagleNick's going to be taking a ride. Because they're wanting to railroad me, and that is the truth. But now I put in my description my Cash App, where if anybody was to want to help EagleNick with my legal defense. So if y'all don't care, please check out my description and you will see that it's changed. I mean, I'm not asking anybody for money. I do not solicit money. I do not solicit super thanks, even though I have them. Now, if you'll notice, if you've been in my live streams before, I don't have my moderators posting, send EagleNick money to here or there. I don't have them saying, buy super thanks. You are dead wrong there, society. There is a Department of Homeland Security memo that states you are telling a big fat lie. The Department of Homeland Security states clearly and exact that they have to have poster 7 posted in every single government building, federal government building. It don't matter if it's a post office, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the National Transportation Safety Board, any federal government where there is public access has to have poster 7 posted where it is visible to the public that states exactly what EagleNick Audits has said. But once again, I'd like to tell everybody, if you would like to make yourself or have made for you an EagleNick Audits t-shirt, please feel free to do so. EagleNick would consider it an honor to know that there is people out there wearing a shirt that says EagleNick Audits. Now, I had the option that I could start an online store and have them made and sell them, but EagleNick's not going to do that because I'm doing this for we the people, not for EagleNick. I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for the red, white, and blue, and I'm doing it all because I know that it's true. Because our rights are inalienable, that are granted to us under the United States Constitution, because they were given to us by our Creator, not by our government. This country was formed first, and then the Constitution was written, and then the federal government was created to uphold and defend the United States Constitution and the constitutional rights of we the people of the United States. But EagleNick would like to state this also. I do not just stand up for the red, white, and blue. I do not just stand up for me and for you. I do not just stand up for the United States of America. I stand up for all of mankind because we all were created equal in the eyes of God. Everything was created for Him and by Him, and without Him was anything created. We would not be where we are if it wasn't for our Creator. This world did not create itself. The Big Bang Theory is a half-truth because, yes, there was a Big Bang, but that was when the Creator spoke the world into existence. That was the sound of His almighty voice ringing out when He spoke it all into existence. Now, He could have did the same with man, but He took man from the dust of the ground, from the earth that He created, and He formed a body, and He breathed into that body the breath of life, and man became a living soul, whereby our Creator imparted into our bodies His Spirit. That is why when we all die, our spirits go back to God who created man, because the spirit in man is God. But our souls wait for the great white throne judgment seat, where we will all be judged for what we have done while we lived on this earth. Our bodies will turn back into the dust from whence it came. It does not matter. He knows your name. And it does not matter if you're cremated. Do you think a loving Creator would deny people entrance into heaven, would deny them the presence of His holy face just because they died in a fire? Now, there has been many innocent children who have died because they were burned alive. And in a sense, that is a cremation, but it is a cremation of the worst kind, Because a cremation is when a body that is already dead is burned. You know, the body turns into ashes. But if your body is embalmed and placed in a grave, given enough time, your body will still decompose and turn back into the dust from which it came. I love you all like no other. I consider each and every one of you my sister and brother. Now, y'all make sure you take care of yourselves and take care of each other. If you see somebody struggling, don't pass them by. Don't turn a blind eye or a deaf ear to the cry that you might hear, because you never know. And what I say is true. One day that cry could come from you. It could come from somebody you love, or you just might happen to know. And it all depends on the love you show. You know what I mean? Now, I love you all, and I'm going to go ahead and end this here live stream. Make sure to subscribe if you already haven't. If you would, please like, share, and comment on every video, short, and prior live stream that I have done. And when this live stream is over and it is processed and downloaded to video format, please come back and at least leave EagleNick a comment to let me know that you was here. Because once the live stream is over, I do not have any way of knowing who all was in the live stream, who all was in the chat. Because once the live stream over, then that is that. The chat disappears, and I haven't a chance to thank everyone like I would like to do. All because I love you. Y'all be safe. And never forget, EagleNick loves you. And now, it's that time of day when it is time for you to hear EagleNick say, EagleNick, audits. I am EagleNick, and I'm out.